Good morning from all of us here at Hubbard's Marina. Another gorgeous day in paradise inside Johns Pass, Madeira Beach. Gonna do a little red tide update, tell you a little bit about what's going on in our fishing, and give you a little bit of upcoming events and news at Hubbard's Marina. It is a gorgeous day here inside Johns Pass. The weather is beautiful. Sunrise is just about to peek over the horizon here. That's our 10-hour all-day boat leaving. Getting ready to go offshore for some 6 to 7 hours of fishing time, 15 to 25 miles from Johns Pass. Captain Frank, Gene, and Smokey are heading out there to go get some hogfish, maybe some keeper red grouper, and tons of the heads and tails as well. Absolutely gorgeous day. The red tide we've had background levels of red tide are very low, unnoticeable levels of red tide in Pinellas County for a few weeks now. It's just starting. Within the last couple days, we've seen some dead fish offshore, anywhere from about 3 to about 10 miles from shore. We're seeing some scattered dead fish. The last 2 or 3 days, we've had these big afternoon thunderstorms that have come up from like kind of Miami area and moved northwest. And along with that, we've got a very strong breeze out of the southeast. And that strong southeast breeze, the bridge always interrupts me. That strong southeast breeze has kind of pushed some of those dead fish off of Sarasota, Venice area, and kind of pushed them out into the Gulf, heading towards our area. So we are seeing some minor, very scattered areas of dead fish along our coast, but they're not littering our beaches. And here inside Johns Pass, it's still gorgeous. There's dolphins playing out here. There's plenty of snook loaded down in the pass. Lots of whitebait. The skimmers are still working the pass for the whitebait. So we still have plenty of healthy, good eating fish ready to be caught here inside Johns Pass. And offshore, the fishing is unaffected. We've been doing very well in our 5-hour half days, 10-hour all days. Our long-range deep-sea fishing trips, like the 12, 39, 44 hours, they are unaffected, and we're not seeing any issues out there. The major fish kills are all still south of Tampa Bay, so like Anna Maria Island, south. But even down there, it's clearing up. At Egmont Key, on a scale of 1 to 10, we were seeing like a 2.5, 3 with some scattered dead fish, and you had a faint smell of rotting fish out at Egmont Key, but now it's totally cleared up. We've been actually snorkeling out at Egmont Key the last 2 days because the water's been gorgeous. So all around, there is no real red tide, no real noticeable red tide inside Johns Pass or along our beaches. Offshore, you're starting to see some minor signs of it with scattered fish, but it's still very minor, and we're still catching plenty of good eating fish, and the fishing action's still really good. So we're excited, and hopefully that red tide doesn't get any worse, because hopefully the wind is going to keep pushing all that away from us. We need a really strong north wind and a nice stiff cold front to kind of break some of this stuff up. But a lot of the rain we've had the past couple days has really helped as well, hopefully cool down the water a little bit and break some of this stuff up. So hopefully the wind and the currents keep working with us and keep all this stuff to our south. As far as the fishing goes, offshore, that 44-hour trip, you guys saw that video. You saw our live fishing show Sunday night. If you missed the live show Sunday night, it's right on our timeline, or if you click on videos, you can see it. It was one of the best live fishing shows we've done yet. First mate Will McClure was there with me as a guest on the show, and Will gave away tons of fishing tips and tricks for offshore deep sea fishing on our 39 and 44-hour trips. For those of you who don't know Will, he's been doing those 39-hour trips for 14, 15 years now. And when I say doing them, he does every single 39 and 44 and 63-hour trip. So Will has a wealth of information, and he gave it all away during that live fishing show this past Sunday night. So if you did not see the live fishing show, definitely go check out our videos and rewatch it now and make sure to share it with friends. We're going to be doing another one of those every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. This week, we're going to hopefully have another guest on the show, so stay tuned to see who's going to be the guest this weekend to give you more fishing tips and tricks as well. Now, we're standing here on the Florida Fisherman watching this beautiful sunrise, but I did want to show you the crew has already started working on the Florida. Now, you can notice here the deck is torn up. The crew has literally been chipping the deck away on the Florida Fisherman with a chisel and hammers. So it took about 5 to 6 guys, almost 2 days now. They've been banging on this deck, chipping all this paint off. This is probably about 5 to 10 years of non-skid, heavy, thick paint. You can kind of see here how thick it was. Very thick paint. They're going to actually chip all the paint off the entire deck of the boat. We're going to sand it down to bare metal, prime it, and repaint it, so that way it's got a really nice coat of non-skid. We're also going to repaint the boat while we're at Drydock, and we're going to get our Coast Guard topside inspection and out of the water inspection. So we got a lot of stuff coming up here for this boat, the Florida Fisherman. After Labor Day, it's going to go up to Tarpon Springs and be out of the water for 5 weeks as we work and do a bunch of different upgrades and making this boat a lot nicer than it is now. 2 years ago, we spent almost $1 million on this boat, doing upgrades, rebuilding the motors, doing upgrades to the generators. So this year, it's a much more minor dry dock. So hopefully we're not going to have any issues, and hopefully it's going to go really smoothly, and we'll be back in the water in about 4 to 5 weeks, and this boat will be back in service sometime mid-October. During dry dock, we have tons of 12-hour night snapper trips and 12-hour extreme trips if you need to get that offshore, deep water, blue water fix. And then also, guys, we always have tons of the long-range private charter options aboard the Flying Hub 1 or Flying Hub 2 if you wanted to get out there for a private charter. Keep in mind a Flying Hub 1 12-hour or Flying Hub 2 12-hour. If you split the cost between you and your buddies and you bring out a decent amount of people, for example, the Flying Hub 1 takes 6 people. If you bring out 5 to 6 people and split the cost between yourselves, it's actually cheaper than doing a 39-hour trip. Same thing on the Flying Hub 2, that boat will take up to 16. If you bring around 14 to 16 guys and split the cost between each other, it's actually cheaper doing a private charter for 12 hours and fish the same area you would on a 39-hour trip. But you're out there and you're home by dinner, and it's a private charter. So there's a lot of options for you during dry dock if you got to get offshore and get that fix. But we hope to see you this Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. for that live fishing show by Hubbard's Marina. And hopefully we'll see you inside John's Pass for some fishing, dolphin watching, or enjoying this beautiful weather we have here inside John's Pass. Absolutely gorgeous week ahead. Weather's great, fishing's great, and we're not seeing the red tide issues that you might believe we're seeing if you watch the news. Unfortunately, national news is really sensationalizing this issue, which is good. We need to sensationalize the issue. We need to address the root cause, all the problems happening in Lake Okeechobee. Get educated, get involved, make sure you write your letters to your senators and your congressional representatives. We need to fix the problems in Lake Okeechobee. We need to address the discharges in the winter time when we don't have as heavy of rain. We need to lower, and the algae bloom isn't going on. We need to lower the lake level and get that to historic low levels. That way, when it does rain and it does get into that rainy season and the water is hot and that algae is blooming, we don't have to do these stupid discharges and dump all this stuff into the Gulf of Mexico and along the Atlantic coast. So if the Army Corps of Engineers did that, just changed their policy a little bit and did less discharges in the warmer summer months and more discharges in the cooler winter months when algae wasn't blooming, that'd be a short-term solution right there. They need to fix the dam, they need to fix the dikes, so that way they can bring the water level up to historic highs without damaging any coastal communities around the lake. That would also help prevent discharges during the warmer summer months. Build canal to flow that water south to the Everglades and restore historic flow without disrupting the communities south of the lake, build reservoirs to help clean that water. Those are all more long-term solutions, but we all got to work together. We all got to stay on top of our congressional representatives and senators. This is a federal issue. It needs a federal fix and a federal solution, and no one person caused this, no one political party caused this, and no one political party or one political candidate can fix this. So everybody's making a big deal about this governor race. Yes, our governor will help by influencing the federal government, but he can't do it alone, and our last governor didn't cause it, guys. So get off the political train. This isn't a political issue. This is a people issue. We caused this problem. We let it happen. Now we got to work together and fix it. Remember, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. You guys have a great day. We'll see you this Sunday night for our live fishing show and live fishing seminars, Sunday nights, 8:30 p.m. And hopefully we'll see you here inside John's Pass for some of this gorgeous weather. Have a good day, guys, and thanks for tuning in.